Diese Spiele zwischen den USA und Israel gibt es natürlich noch das Finalspiel der Weltmeisterschaft der Ballhockey 2024 in Visp and Raron zwischen Team Kanada und Team Tschechien. After this game, we still have the final round at 1600 hours at this World Championship Ball Hockey 2024 in Visp and Raron between Team Canada and Team Czech Republic. And that's the end, still not the end. After that game, after the final, we still have soccer around football, 1800 hours. Team Italy against Team Switzerland. Outside, inside, you can quickly eat something around here in the Arena. Als het afsluitende finaalspiel hebben we nog in de public viewing bereik in de Arena nog das Spiel Italien-Schweiz, der EM-Fußball. Also ein volles Rahmenprogramm heute in der Arena und auch Osteuropa. Bleibt noch ein bisschen da. In Kürze folgt das Eingang. Here comes the lineup of Team USA. In goal, number 51, Robert Snyder. 25, Joe Miller. 88, Michael Anders. Number 20, Drew Albright. 92, Nick Carter. Number 8, Mark Bacamasco. Number 60, John Dunny. 71, Jordan Albright. Number 24, Johnny Ruiz. 97, Mike Malloy. 72, Corey Wilson. Number 11, Steve Xiang. Number 4, Vinny Torinello. 9, Andy Urban. 43, Brendan Bessichetti. 14, Brandon Kersey. Number 93, Colin Callahan. 21, AJ Gus. 37, Scott Warren. 61, Nicola Levis. Number 81, Corey Fredrickson. Number 30, Brandon Jones. And St. Paul Team USA is number 30, Patrick Bell. Coach of Team USA is Mike Albright. Gibt es bereits 30 Sekunden hier in unserer Arena? Das kann doch viel lauter. Are you ready? Nehmt euch die Liste der Spiegelpunkte und wir machen das gleiche wie gestern im Halbfinale. Ich kenne nur die Vorname. Ihr seid bereit für die Nachname? Line Switzerland. In Goal, Nummer 29, Janik. 26, Janik. 16, Aaron. 95, Antoine. 99, Steve. Nummer 2, Alexander. 65, Janik. 22, Ken. 52, Soares Vasco. 88, Nick. 59, Lucas. 87, Max. Nummer 9, Rafael. 34, Mikkel. Nummer 8, Tobias. 74, Nicolas. Nummer 3, Alessio. 78, Robert. 21, Tim. 66, Mario. 81, Moritz. 39, Jan. 71, Adriaan. Und das Ersatztorhüter Nummer 13, Dean. Coach von Team Schweiz ist Tibor. Dankeschön. Welcome to the ring, Team USA! Seid bereit für den Schweizer Nationalmannschaft. Hier kommt sie auf das Spielfeld. Team Switzerland!
Welcome back, hockey fans, ready for the men's A-pool bronze medal game. Second to last game of the tournament here. Coming up next will be the Czech Republic and Canada in the gold medal game. The winner here will take home bronze. The loser will finish fourth. For the United States, first time they have appeared in back-to-back medal rounds. They were the bronze medal winners in 2022 in Laval, Quebec for Switzerland. They are looking for their first medal in men's A-pool history. So big game. Excited to have you with us. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Bakanowitz, as we are underway here, picked up by the United States. Long shot already off the stick of the captain, Johnny Ruiz. U.S. wasted no time there. Dumped into the U.S. zone. Now Switzerland looking to gain possession. And we get a whistle here as the ball is swallowed up by U.S. netminder Robbie Schneider. So for Switzerland, they have been the toast of the town, obviously the hometown team. A lot of fans in attendance. They've just been great all around, supporting them all week. Can't say enough great things about the job the tournament organizing committee has done here in beautiful Visp, Switzerland. U.S. knocked out yesterday by the Czech Republic, and Switzerland was defeated, ended up getting shut out by Canada. It was a long shot, I think made it through on Schneider. Switzerland, the second youngest team in the tournament after Great Britain. Long shot off of Schneider's chest. Rebound bounces out in front, picked up by Dutney. Back behind the net. Switzerland getting some line changes. So I think for this game, you're going to see basically a battle of speed versus speed here. The United States has some very fast players. Also players like you just saw there, Corey Wilson, with very high hockey IQs. Be interesting to see how recent Hall of Fame inductee, class of 2024, Switzerland head coach Tibor Kapanik counters the U.S. with that high hockey IQ. Try and use their speed to get a lot of balls deep, I would imagine. Get a good forecheck going. And just try and get some balls on net. You know, they were shut out yesterday by Canada. And obviously they were disappointed, but you know, they're a young team, right? They're going to bounce back here, and it's hard to get to this spot. You heard me say that in the previous game, the men's B-pool final. So it's better to go home with some hardware than none, as the U.S. carries the ball up through the neutral zone. Gain the line there over to Tumanello. Good deflection on the play. As the Swiss chase it back behind the net, up along the boards. Mishandled there by Nicholas Verley. The U.S. keeps it back in as the Hops freeze chants break out. Battle along the far boards, picked up by Persischetti. Trying to get it back to the point, can't. Switzerland trying to stick in a lot of trouble. Potential 2-on-1 here for Switzerland. Good defensive stick work there. I believe that was Drew Albright. It was. Back along the near boards to Fina. Fina with possession, back down behind the net. Over to Rodriguez. Dumped into the United States zone. Up, U.S. player slips down. Picked up by Switzerland. Back to the point. Over to Rodriguez. Long wrist shot deflected on Schneider. Rebound loose. Oh, that was a good pad save by Schneider off the redirect. Back behind the net now. Sent up along the boards by number 20, Drew Albright, but that's offsides on the U.S. Face-off will come back into the neutral zone. 11:35 remaining here. Men's bronze medal game, United States. Looking to set some history here. First time they would have medaled in back-to-back men's tournaments. Switzerland looking to make history. First medal for them in the men's A-pool. Swiss win the draw. Back to Fina, dumped it into the U.S. zone. Switzerland giving chase. Battle behind the net, Dutney there along with Ruiz. Dutney has the ball, hemmed in, picked up by Switzerland. Back to the point. Over to Mermoud. Mermoud looking for a wrister, blocked. Kept in at the point. Switzerland still has the zone. Now picked up by Dutney along the near boards. Going to try and carry it out, chip it up along the boards. Over to Connor Callahan. Callahan looking to make a pass there, was deflected. Good defensive stick work by Ken Mueller. U.S. picks it back up, dumps it along the near boards. Andy's pinching from the point. Switzerland with possession now. Ken Mueller behind the net as Switzerland gets some line changes. Switzerland getting set up, trying to get an outlet play going here. However, that ball was not deflected, so the face-off after the flooring call will come all the way back down deep into the Switzerland zone. With 10:29 remaining here in the opening period of the men's bronze medal game. Large crowd in attendance for the hometown Swiss. Also a lot of fans in attendance here for the United States. The U.S. men's team in attendance last night to watch the U.S. women set history with the first gold medal in the U.S. women's program. Congratulations to them as they knocked off the Czech Republic 3-0. Oh, good move there. Shot! Gets deflected wide. Oh, the Swiss bench was ready to erupt there as number 9, Rafael Cialfo, had an empty net. But I believe number 25, Joe Melillo, was able to get the stick on that and deflect it wide. U.S. catching an early break. Also good work by Melillo. Sends it back behind the net. Drops it off for Drew Albright. Albright now carrying it up through the zone. Albright still wheeling and dealing. Long wrist shot, just wide. In net for Switzerland, number 29, Yannick Messer. Swiss now trying to gain the zone, they do. Giving chase Max Mueller, pinned along the boards. U.S. comes away with it. Bergamasco rifles it around towards the far boards. Persischetti intercepts it. U.S. on the counter, gain the zone. Persischetti setting up, looking for a pass. Goes down low to Bergamasco. Back to the point, over to Albright. Albright takes back the pass. Long wrist shot, intercepted by the Swiss. Picked up by Nicholas Verley. Good stick work by the U.S. there in their own defensive zone. Tuminello has it. Sit back to Albright. Long outlet pass on to Tuminello. Dumped in deep. Switzerland there. Just trying to get it over to Mike Malloy. 8:30 remaining here in a scoreless first period. Men's bronze medal game. U.S. in white, Switzerland in black. Dumped into the U.S. zone. U.S. chip it back up. Steve Sign with it, loses it to Switzerland. Swiss gaining the zone, dumped in on Schneider, and he's just going to get a whistle. And it looks like both teams will get some fresh legs out. 8:07 left here in the opening period. Men's bronze medal game. You just saw Team Italy knock off Lebanon 4-2 in the B pool gold medal game. Italy got an empty net goal to make it 4-2. There was that shot that Cialfo had on the empty net. Rattled around to the near boards. Picked up by Nick Carter, up along the near boards. Trying to dump it into the Swiss zone as the U.S. Sign unable to corral it, beaten on the play by Ken Mueller. There's that Swiss speed I talked about. Just have a lot of legs, a lot of youthful energy. Filipek with it. Very smart player, good hockey IQ. Back to Bardos, to the point. Long shot, gloved into the corner by Schneider. Switzerland now back to the point. Long shot, handled by Schneider. Can't cover it. The U.S. helps him out there. Number 22, Ken Muller, was crashing that, looking for a rebound. Good job by the U.S. defense bailing out Schneider on that one. Just a funky rebound, came off of his pads at an awkward angle. Happens sometimes. Andes to the far board. Into the U.S. zone, long wrist shot, high over the glass. Andes trying to gather the rebound, dumps it in down deep. Battle behind the net. Still battling behind the net. It's Brendan Krause. Sent it up to the point, then it was rifled down and low. Jordan Albright there. Albright trying to work it loose. Swiss gained possession. Still in their zone, intercepted, and that's going to end up as flooring. Faceoff will come all the way back down to the Swiss zone. So U.S. sent some fresh legs out, try and take advantage of this flooring call. Corey Wilson, Corey Fredrickson, Brandon Jones. Looks like Nicola Levesque at the point along with Drew Albright. Face-off won back by Switzerland. Taken back behind the net. U.S. applying pressure. Now on the near board, Switzerland with a chance to get it out of the zone. Hemmed in. Well, they elect to get some line changes and just go back behind the net here. Hand it off to Yannick Eberle. Eberle sees a lane, takes it, carries it into the U.S. zone. Eberle at the point, down low. Switzerland now still patient with the ball to Eberle. Takes the shot, trying to walk it through for a shooting lane on net. Batted down in front by Drew Albright. Albright pinned along the boards, trying to escape. Dumps it off to Nicola Levesque. Levesque advancing it forward. U.S. gains the zone. Fredrickson battling along the boards still. Corralled by Switzerland. Trying to escape out of the zone. Nice move here by Nicholas Verley. Verley still with it. Verley with a look at the net. Shot save Schneider, but we're going to get a penalty here. Holding on Verley. So U.S. draws the call here. They'll go on the man advantage. 5:10 left here in the first period. Take a look here. Yeah, you see him grab the stick there. Now he's playing hard, right? Trying to make an opportunity, trying to generate some momentum, but right, can't grab the opposing player's stick and just toss it out of the way like that. Good call by the referee. Face-off won by the Americans. Back to Drew Albright. Albright, shot, gets deflected wide off the pad. Not sure if Persischetti was able to deflect that as Switzerland gets the clear. Schneider comes out to play it. U.S. will reset the line. With it, Jordan Albright dumps it in deep to Drew, but a little too hard. So the play is offsides and will come back outside the zone into the neutral zone, it looks like, here on the U.S. side. Take a look at the replay here on the shot by Albright. That made it clean through. That just hit Messer right in the pad. Well, now the referees have moved the face-off all the way down into the U.S. zone. Minute 33 remaining on the man advantage. Drew Albright picks it up over to Jordan. Jordan Albright corrals it up the red line. U.S. needs to gain the zone. Over to Persischetti, trying to walk it in. Persischetti rifled it off the side of the net. Back to Ruiz, back to the point. Ruiz, one-timer shot. Good save. Messer down on the butterfly. Swiss aggressive on this penalty kill here. Less than a minute remaining. Over to Levesque. Back to Jordan Albright. Tells Levesque to go over to the other side. Back to Ruiz. Fakes the shot. Long shot. Blocked. Will the Swiss be able to get the clear here? U.S. applies pressure on the forecheck. Jordan Albright, one-timer shot. Just missed wide. Ruiz corrals it. Over to Levesque. Ruiz shot. High off the glass. Poked back in by Albright. A little too strong. And the Swiss are going to be able to get the clear here. Cheers erupt from the hometown. And Schneider comes out to play it to Levesque. U.S. getting some line changes. Bergamasco now with it. Drops it off to Brandon Jones. Back to the point to Corey Wilson and Jones. Back to Jones. Nice butterfly sliding save there by Yannick Messer. Jones had a good look at the net. Ten seconds left on the man advantage. 3:20 left in the opening period. 0-0. U.S. and Switzerland. You see on the replay there, Messer just swallowed up the rebound. Face-off won by the Americans. Back to Nick Carter. Carter looking for a shooter lane, deflected, score! In front, Corey Wilson. Deflects it past Yannick Messer to give the U.S. the 1-goal lead here. 3:14 remaining in the first period. U.S. runs over to the bench to offer congratulations. Great wrist shot from the point by Nick Carter. Just put in a spot where Wilson could get a stick on it and redirect it past Messer. Nothing he could do on it. Take a look at the replay here. Carter waiting, just waiting for that shoot lane to develop, and then you see nice low wrist shot, just deflected. Perfect angle here, bang. Corey Wilson, outstanding.
46, goal to USA. Score numbers 72, Corey Wilson. Assisted by 92, Nick Carter. And assisted by 16, John Duffy. New score, USA 1, Switzerland 0.
Okay, they just announced the goal, so yep, Corey Wilson gets it. Assisted by Carter and number 16, John Dutney. Just under 3 minutes remaining here, U.S. now up 1-0 on the power play goal by Wilson. As we get a flooring call here, faceoff will come all the way deep into the U.S. zone. Ready for the draw. Face-off won back by the Swiss. They will try and corral it at the blue line. Walking it in. Here's an opportunity down low. Schneider just smothers it. Swiss had number 22, Mueller, down there all alone. So good job. Heads-up play by Robbie Schneider to just smother that. See what Switzerland was trying to do. Shot, blocked. Poked to the side by Andis. Back up towards the blue line. Long shot, hit a foot, then backhanded wide of the net. U.S. player pushed hard into the boards. Centering attempt, nobody there for Swiss to receive it. Mike Malloy has it. Malloy picks it up. Well, misread there with Geitz. But now the U.S. potentially here. Well, Switzerland's going to get back using that speed. And the ball trickles out of the zone as the U.S. will go off and get some line changes. Back to Melillo. To Malloy. Gains the zone. Up. Center attempt there misread by the U.S. player. Switzerland walks in all alone, loses his footing. Was Andes. Uh-oh, ball trickles right out to the Swiss. Shot just goes wide, rattles off the boards. Came hot off the stick of Tobias Rodewald. Back to the point, kept in by Switzerland. Long shot goes wide. Switz with some sustained pressure here. Kilroy has it back to the point. Over to Burley. Long shot. Looked like Schneider tried to waffle that to the side, and it just hit the inside of his blocker off the stick of Lukas Stahelli. He just ends up getting the whistle on that one. 1:25 remaining here. Manolo wins the draw. Back to Drew Albright. Center attempt up to Bergamasco. Dumps it in down deep. U.S. just going to get a couple of lines. Pardon me, a couple of players changed out here as Ruiz and Jordan Albright come out. Swiss with it now behind their net. Walking it up is Max Muller.
1 minute left in the first period.
Intercepted by the U.S. Over to Jordan Albright. Back to the point, walk it in, and Ruiz trying to walk it in, gets tripped, no call. Backhander, shot wide. Off the stick of Bergamasco, has Ruiz there, shot save. Rebound still loose. Finally poke checked away, Switzerland now. Opportunity for Nicholas Verley. But he's outmanned, 1-on-2 there. Well, Ruiz felt like there should have been a call there. Referees kept the whistles in their pockets. Sent up, Levesque with it now. Levesque trying to feed it to Albright, intercepted. Good read on the play there by Rodriguez. 10 seconds left, Switzerland, long outlet pass, gain the zone. Intercepted by Drew Albright, 4 seconds left, and that should do it here. So 10-minute break between periods, U.S. leading in the bronze medal game, 1-0 over the hometown Swiss. We'll see you back here in 10.
dein Traum wahr werden. Wird zum Profi. ochsnerhockey.ch
All right, welcome back. U.S. leading the hometown Swiss 1-0 here in the men's bronze medal game. Both teams looking to make history. U.S. would be the first time they have medaled in back-to-back men's tournaments. For Switzerland, looking for their first medal in a men's tournament. Right into the glove of Robbie Schneider. And we're going to get a whistle down deep low. Good first period for both teams. U.S. was able to capitalize on the man advantage. Your goal scorer, Corey Wilson, the deflection off the wrist shot from the point from Nick Carter. Second assist went to J.D. Dutney as the U.S. wraps it around. They're looking to gain the zone. They do. U.S. has a trailer, dumps it on net, looking for Jones. He picks it up. Centering attempt, shot, score! Just like that. Bang, bang, play. U.S. up 2-0 on the Swiss. Outstanding read on the play there by Brandon Jones, feeding Dutney. And just nothing the Swiss netminder Yannick Messer could do. I'll tell you, Brandon Jones, you know, he won player of the game in the opening match of the tournament, which seems like ages ago. Here against the hometown Swiss. U.S. ended up winning 4-2. And then battled some injuries. But as you see here, he appears to be healthy, right? Picks his head up, sees Dutney screaming in all alone, and Dutney, easy goal for him. Oh, as the Swiss get one back right away! And the crowd erupts. Switzerland climbs right back in it. Less than 15 seconds later. Suddenly it's 2-1. Switzerland now energized. I have to take a look at the replay here. So behind the net, just a centering attempt, and just found the far pads. The 5-hole there. Looked like Robbie Schneider was reading the play. It's just a great shot. There's nothing Schneider can do, right? You've heard me say this, I'm a goaltender myself. Sometimes it just beats you. There's nothing you can do. It's not like Schneider didn't read the play correctly. The guy just made a great shot. Wow. Well, we still have ourselves a hockey game here. 2-1 U.S. as Persischetti takes it across the line. U.S. trying to walk it out in front, blocked by the Swiss. As they announced the Dutney goal here, U.S. wraparound attempt blocked. So the second assist on the U.S. goal was Corey Wilson after Brandon Jones as Schneider misplays that, pops up into the air, still down low. Schneider goes to dive, can't grab it. They're announcing the Switzerland goal now. So the goal, Ciofo, you saw that on the replay, assisted on the great feed by Tobias Rodewald. Second assist goes to Lucas Staheli. As a long shot from the point gets deflected down in front. U.S. potentially with numbers here. Swiss hustling back to counter it. They do. So the U.S. just dumps it. Oh, misplayed off the glove there. Dangerous misplay by Yannick Messer. U.S. now trying to walk that in. Turnaround shot just goes wide. Off the stick of Mike Malloy, back to the point. Back behind the net to Andes. Andes looking to make something happen. Throws it in front. Pad save. Along the board, still battling. Back behind the net. Swiss desperate to get a clear here. U.S. Oh, it trickles out now. Switzerland manages to gain the U.S. zone. Long shot, goes high over the net. Hits the glass, picked up by Carter along the far boards. Glove down by the U.S. Center attempt there. Well, Mike Malloy, but then he misplayed it. He was trying to fire it into the far corner. He's going to head off for a change. U.S. will get some fresh forwards out. Back to Jordan Albright. Up to Carter. Carter gains the zone. Pulls up, looking for some help. Centering attempt, one time. Krause misfired. Back behind the net, walking it out. Ruiz tried to backhand wrap around. Just went wide. Centering attempt to Albright. Albright trying to win the deal at the poke, checked away. Swiss now looking to gain the U.S. zone. Mario Paulik. Paulik out in front. Good block there on part of Brendan Crowley for the U.S. No, we're going to get a penalty now as Jordan Albright was taken down right in front of the referee. U.S. back on the man advantage. Well, if you're Switzerland, you can't be upset at that, right? Obviously, right in front of the referee. You know, if it happened to you, you'd be screaming for him to make the call. It's a good call there. So Jordan Albright went to glove it down. The Swiss player slid right into his legs, took him out. It's as obvious a tripping call as you're going to get in this game. So the U.S. sends out Corey Wilson, Corey Fredrickson, Dutney at the point, Brandon Jones, and Nick Carter. So Dutney with it, drops it back off to Carter. This is the power play line that scored the first goal of the game. The deflection by Corey Wilson. Carter patient with it here, still waiting to gain the line. U.S. having some trouble here. Dumped in deep, but rifled right back out by the Swiss, so Schneider will come out to play it back up to Carter. Switzerland killed 30 seconds there off that man advantage. Carter with it. Carter dumps it in down deep, tells Fredrickson, go give chase, he does. Fredrickson ties up his man. Jones with it. Jones back to the point. U.S. unable to keep it in. Schneider comes back out to play it. Switzerland able to get one change there as we reach the halfway point on the man advantage. Brandon Jones gains the line. All right, so clean entry now for the U.S. Back to Carter. Johnny Ruiz comes out. One-time attempt blocked. Good pad save by Messer. Switzerland gets it clear. They're going to get a couple of fresh forwards out. 40 seconds left in the man advantage. Up to Ruiz. He gains the line. Tries a centering attempt. Blocked. That centering attempt has ended up getting poked out of the zone. Good hustle play on the part of Mikael Fairclaw. 20 seconds left on the man advantage. Up to Ruiz, tries to deflect it in, but misplayed. Sent all the way back down into the U.S. zone. Running out of time here on this man advantage. 10 seconds remaining. Picked up by Jordan Albright. Looking to gain the line, walks it up slowly. Takes the shot. Intercepted by the Swiss. So good job by Switzerland there, killing that man advantage, right? Last thing they want was get the U.S. opportunity there. Retake a 2-goal lead. Fakes the shot from the point. Centering attempt goes off the stick of Mahmoud, but Mahmoud picks it back up, tries to walk it into the center. Shot blocked. Schneider's going to get a glove. As the U.S. will get some line changes with 8:42 remaining in the second period here. Well, for the U.S., they got to be disappointed on that power play. It just really had some struggles trying to gain the zone, and it cost them valuable attack time. So face off to the right of Schneider. Jan Bardo's taking it for Switzerland. Can't see from up here who's taking it for the U.S. Oh, that was Tumanello. Won it back. The U.S. manages to chip it up out of the zone. More chance of Hopstreets breakout. Tell you, if Switzerland manages to win a medal here, this entire region is going to be Hopstreeten the rest of the night. Good breakup in the neutral zone there by Worgen. U.S. takes possession. Back to Worgen, gains the zone. Worgen back to the point, over to Melillo. Long wrist shot, knocked down in front. Switzerland now trying to get numbers. U.S. hustling back to negate it. They do. Shot, oh, that hit the pipe. Quick shot from the corner, caught Robbie Schneider by surprise. Andy's with it now. Andy's trying to center it in front. He had Tumanello there, but good read on the play by Lucas Stahelli. Centering attempt, that's going to be a flooring call. Come all the way back down to the Swiss zone. 7:18 remaining in the opening period here. United States up 2-1. Goal scorers so far. Corey Wilson opened the scoring, assisted by Nick Carter, John Dutney, and then Dutney got a goal assisted by Brandon Jones and Corey Wilson. So both Dutney and Corey Wilson with 2 points on the play. For Switzerland, Rafael Ciofo scored, assisted by Tobias Rodewald and number 59, Lucas Stahelli. Get all your scoring at stats.isbhf.com. We'll link directly to it from our homepage. And we get a face-off violation here. The face-off will come all the way back into the Swiss zone. Face-off won back by the U.S. Good clean win. Carter has it. Long wrist shot. Goes off of a foot on the near boards. Dumped down deep by Percischetti. Malloy goes after it. Centering attempt goes off of a foot to the breadbasket of Messer, and the Swiss take exception at the extra whack on net. Referee's trying to separate the players. Take a look at the replay here. So the ball comes out in front. Referee hadn't blown the whistle yet. And the Swiss just took exception of that whack by Steve Saenz. So the faceoff comes to the neutral zone. Switzerland hemmed in. Now the U.S. with it behind, and that center attempt scores! Steve Saenz buries it. Outstanding hustle play by the U.S. Couldn't see who got the feed over to Saenz there. Have to wait for the replay. Might have been Malloy. But the U.S. retakes a 3-goal lead, or pardon me, a 2-goal lead, 3-1 now. Take a look at the replay here. Oh, no, it was Dutney. Outstanding. Well, he's having himself a game. That's 3 points. So Malloy gets second assist. There was an eruption there from the crowd looking for a call. Didn't get it. Corey Wilson now gains his own over to Corey Fredrickson. Centering attempt for Jones. Trying to pick the top corner, just deflected wide. Levesque goes to do battle. Levesque trying to wheel his way out in front. Bodied off. Levesque still wheeling and dealing. Behind the net. Gonna dump it out. Levesque still don't know where to go with it. Swiss clogging the passing lanes. Back to Corey Wilson. Over to Levesque. Blocked. Swiss breakout now, trying to get numbers. U.S. hustling back. Over to Filipek. Filipek in the corner. Trying to find a passing lane. There is none. Filipek walks it all the way around. Nowhere to go with it still. Centering attempt. Nobody there to receive it. Picked up by Ken Mueller. Centering attempt back to Filipek. Good look at the net. Shot! Deflected just wide. Oh, that was a good feed by Filipek. Back to him. Centering attempt. Knocked down as the U.S. gets it out of the zone. Play by Fredrickson there. U.S. walks it in. Filipek again. Shot. Just goes wide. U.S. being aggressive there on their poke checks. Almost cost them dearly. Shot redirected. Loose. Still loose. U.S. desperately needs a clear here. Captain Johnny Ruiz lost his footing. He's back on his feet now. Swiss in possession. Switzerland still looking for a passing lane there. That's Mario Paulik. That shot goes wide off the stick of number 59, Lucas DeHaley. Chipped up along the near boards. Albright tries to carry it out of the zone. He does. Dumps it in down deep. Shot. Blocked. Good job by the Swiss clogging the shooting lanes. I know that player's going to feel that one right off the thigh. Well, pass intercepted by Switzerland. Rodewald. One-timer. Shot goes high over the net. Bounces out in front. Still loose. Still loose. Switzerland screaming for a call. They're going to get it here. I think that's going to be on Joe Malilo. Well, listen, that's a good hockey penalty. There's a lot of hockey value in that, right? Because that ball was loose. Malilo did not have good body position. He knows he's screening his goaltender. He did the right thing there. I'd have done the same thing. Can't be upset with that. See here on the replay, right? So the ball's loose. Schneider trouble finding it, right? That's the right play, right? You can't let the guy just have a wraparound attempt where Schneider's not going to be able to get a read on it. So, I understand he's probably a little frustrated, but that's good hockey right there. Unfortunate, bounce for the United States, but for Switzerland, your opportunity to climb right back in it. Won by the Swiss, back to Eberle. Over to Bardos. Bardos looking. Back, shot. Gets deflected wide. I think that hit a stick in front. Back to Eberle. Long shot, deflected, score! Switzerland on the redirect right through the 5-hole of Schneider. They climb right back into it, 3-2. Loud ovation here from the Swiss fans in attendance. See on the replay here who gets credit for that redirect in front. So there's the long wrister from the point, redirected. All right, so it looks like Aaron Eaton gonna get the goal. Ready for the draw at center. Chipped into the zone by the U.S. now. Bergamasco with it. Centering attempt, shot, blocked. Rebound smothered.
Assisted by number 9, Rafael Jocko. New score, USA 3, Switzerland 2.
So Eaton on the goal, and then Rafael Giotto on the assist. So Ciofo having himself a game with a goal and an assist here. 3:27 left in the second period. U.S. up 3-2 against the hometown team, Switzerland. Centering attempt blocked. Switzerland gains the zone here. Centering attempt blocked wide by Schneider. Good positional save. Switzerland looking for a pass there. They get it. Shot goes off Snyder's pad. Swallows it up. Faceoff will come back into the U.S. zone here to the right of Schneider. Referee ready to drop it. Won by Switzerland on net, stopped by the United States. Melillo trying to stick hand in a lot of trouble. Chipped into the zone by Persischetti. Hemmed in by Eberle. Eberle still with it. Persischetti loses his helmet, got to go off. Switzerland gains the zone here. Goal scorer Eden just redirects it on Schneider. We get a whistle. 2:29 remaining in the second period here. The men's bronze medal game. One more game to go. It's the big one. Number 1 seed Canada taking on the number 2 seed Czech Republic in a rematch of the gold medal game from 2022 in Laval, Quebec, which Canada won. So the Czech Republic looking to avenge that loss. Face-off ultimately won by the U.S. Ruiz back behind the net. That gold medal game was Canada 6-3. Game was, in my personal opinion, that game was closer than the score would indicate, but regardless, I'm sure the Czechs will be looking for revenge as Ruiz walks in, goes off of a foot. Dumped in by the Swiss. Picked up by the U.S. along the far boards. They do not have numbers here. Centering attempt for Mike Malloy goes wide into the corner. Minute 30 remaining. Malloy trying to give and go here, stuffed by the Swiss. Picked up by Ken Mueller. Over to Mermoud. Mermoud up along the boards to Bardos. Bardos chips it in and gives chase using his legs. Body sign off the play. Picked up by Filipek. Filipek back to the point. Filipek retrieves it back. Turnaround shot goes off of a foot to the near boards. Less than a minute left. Takes a shot. Threw it on front, hoping for a redirect. Unable to. Shot. Save Schneider. Oh, that was a good one. That came hot off the stick of Bardos as Connor Callahan tries to wheel and deal into the zone. He does. Long shot goes wide. U.S. bodies the player off the ball. Into the corner they go. That's Bardos and Sion. Centering attempt here for the best shot. Oh, what a stop! Just getting a piece of it with the glove. Yannick Messer. Well, let's remember that save as we head towards intermission here with 20 seconds left. So Swiss might be content to just eat this. Ten seconds remaining here. Dumped well. That's a mental mistake there, right? Now you dump it all the way down deep in the U.S. zone instead of eating it. Now you have a flooring call, going to give the U.S. an opportunity here with 7.4 seconds left. You've heard me talk about it all week. There's that glove save. You know, young teams like that, right? These mental mistakes, it's part of a learning process, right? You have to learn how to win in sports. And when you get to, you heard me say what USA Ball Hockey President Chris Beggs likes to call the deep end of the pool, you just can't have it. You can't have mental mistakes like that, because if the U.S. ends up burying this one, that could just take the life right out of the Swiss. This is a huge draw. Corey Wilson getting ready. And again with the explanations. I know I sound annoyed because I I am, quite frankly. Like it's not hard to line up for a draw, boys and girls. Come on, right? Okay, here we go. Wilson trying to win it back, picked up by the Swiss. They're just going to eat this. Rattled all the way around. 2 seconds, 1. That'll do it. All right, so the U.S. heads into the second intermission. 15 minutes away from setting history with being the first U.S. team to medal in back-to-back men's tournaments. Switzerland, they have 15 minutes to find an answer here and take home their first ever hardware. We'll see you back here in 10.
See you in 10 minutes.
Lass deinen Traum wahr werden. Wird zum Profi. ochsnerhockey.ch
just about ready for the start of the third period here. United States 15 minutes away from repeating as bronze medal winners. Switzerland 15 minutes away from trying to make history as the first team in their proud nation's history to win a medal in the men's A division. I'm sure USA head coach Corey Hirsch and Switzerland head coach Tibor Kapanik gave their team some inspirational speeches as the U.S. gains its own here early. Shot deflected off the stick of Mahmoud by Sion. A lot of fans in attendance here. Intercepted by the U.S. in the neutral zone. Need to gain the zone. Cross floor pass to Levesque. U.S. has the zone. Feed over to Albright. Center attempt. Backhander. Oh, good stop. Oh, that was a quick backhander by Connor Callahan. Picked up by Albright. Hemmed in by Philippek. Back to Drew Albright. Back to Jordan. Dutney comes on the floor. Albright goes off. Looks like Carter's going to come on for Albright. And that pass is a little too far for Jordan Albright. So flooring all the way back in the U.S. zone. U.S. eliminated by the Czech Republic in the semifinal game. And Switzerland eliminated by Canada in their semifinal matchup. So the big one next, Canada and the Czech Republic rematch of the 2022 gold medal game. Canada won that game 6-3. Czech Republic looking to get some revenge. Face-off won back by the Americans. Taken behind the net. U.S. still behind the net. Waiting for an outlet pass here. Swiss following their men up in the neutral zone. And U.S. is going to get some fresh legs. So Corey Fredrickson, Brandon Jones come out. U.S. still pinned in behind their own net. Ciofo out in front from Robbie Schneider. Well, Swiss fans getting antsy here. Over to Carter. Up along the boards. Chipped up into the zone. Switzerland will take possession. Swiss now getting a couple of fresh legs out. Looking to gain the U.S. zone. They fire it. Cross floor, picked up by Carter. Makes a nice move. A little shake and bake action. Get rid of the Swiss defender, but it's almost a turnover. Could have been disastrous for the U.S. Shot saved. Schneider, ball's bounced up in the air. Schneider goes to glove it, can't do it. U.S. dodges a bullet there. Carter has it back behind the net. Swiss very aggressive on the forecheck right now. Taken by Corey Wilson. Gains the zone, dumps it in down deep. Now the U.S. will go off. Some line changes, get fresh legs out. Dumped in deep by the Swiss. Rattles around, picked up by Joe Melillo. Trying to advance, it's stuck in his feet. Switzerland now with possession back behind the net. And we're gonna get a high sticking call on the U.S. I think that's gonna go against Michael Andis. Saw the Swiss player grab his face immediately, and the FAR referee made the call. So Andis will head to the box. Golden opportunity for Switzerland here. Try and get the equalizer. Take a look at the replay here. Andis goes for the stick lift. And you can see there, he just catches the Swiss player right in the melon. It's Aaron Eaton. Scored the second goal for Switzerland. Levesque out, Ruiz, Carter. Can't see the fourth U.S. penalty killer. I believe it's Dutney. Referee blows the whistles. The other referee approaches in there and tells both these players stop the funny business. Now we get a phase off one cleanly by the Swiss. Fake the shot. They're just going to get set up on the man advantage. Down low. Over to Mahmoud. Mahmoud looking for a shooting lane. No, chose to pass it. Mahmoud calling for it back. One-timer shot deflected just wide of Schneider. Well, bad turnover there by the Swiss on the stick of Johnny Ruiz. Ruiz has it, trying to get a shot attempt there in softly. Swiss pick it up as the U.S. gets some new runners out. Tumanello comes out, Malloy. Malilo's out there. And 1 minute remaining on the man advantage. Switzerland gains the line, Nicholas Verley. Verley with it, turns around, back to the point. Over to Eberle. Back to Ciofo. Long wrist shot. Had traffic in front there. Eden was screening Schneider. Shot went just wide. Over to Ciofo. Down low. Opportunity here. Swiss walking in all alone. Deflected. Good block there by Drew Albright as they'll get the clear. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Eberle throws it in on Schneider. Plays it out of the zone. Good smart heads-up play by Robbie Schneider. Switzerland now running out of time on the man advantage. 10 seconds left. Nicholas Verley. The U.S. intercepts it, and that'll do it. They dump it all the way down in deep. As Andes comes out of the box, all even. Rattled all the way around the far boards. Andes takes it. Up to Wilson. Chips it up. Switzerland unable to gather possession. Andes with it. Back to Carter. Back behind the net to Dutney. Over to Carter up along the near boards. Carter carries it out. Carter still with the ball. Over to Fredrickson, giving chase. Rattled around to Brandon Jones. Jones looking, sees Dutney there, shot right into the breadbasket. Good save, Yannick Messer. Nine minutes remaining here. U.S. holding on to a 3-2 lead. Face off one cleanly back, but all the way out of the zone. U.S. will have to regroup. Drew Albright with it. Trying to carry it in his zone. Poke checked away. Picked up by Levesque. Back down to Drew Albright. Pinned along the boards. Switzerland trying to take possession there. Ball rolls loose. Here comes Phillip back in all alone. Oh, good back check on the play. As U.S. player goes hard on board, but Philippek walking in all alone. Shot! Save! Schneider! Oh, Philippek throws his head up to the sky. Outstanding hustle play on his part. Hey, credit to Robbie Schneider. Came out, cut down the angle, made it look easy. A clutch save there. Ready for the draw. One back by Tim Mueller. Over to Yannick Mueller. Long wrist shot, deflected, score! Switzerland ties it on a long wrist shot from the point. No way Schneider saw that one. A lot of bodies in front. Just under the crossbar. We've seen Switzerland do this before. They did it against Greece. They were down 2-0, came back in the quarterfinals, won 3-2. They were down 3-1 against the Czechs, came back, took them to a shootout. Momentum now on the side of Switzerland. Take a look at the replay here. Mueller throws the wrist shot there. Schneider never saw it, just went over his shoulder. Clean. The captain, Yannick Mueller. Long shot wide of Schneider. Switzerland now, all sorts of momentum on their side. Back in the U.S. zone. 8 minutes remaining. Persischetti along the boards, back down Malilo. Up along the near boards. So Yannick Mueller from Tim Mueller. All knotted at 3. Ball rolls off the stick of Yannick Mueller. Or pardon me, Yannick Eberle. As the U.S. will get some changes here. Dutney comes out. So Sion, Malloy, and Worgen, the forwards out there. Carter back out on D for the U.S. 7 minutes and 22 seconds remaining here. Third period, all knotted at 3. U.S. still with no outlet passes. Switzerland doing a good job through the neutral zone, staying with their man. Over to Carter. Back behind the net. U.S. can't find a passing lane here up along the boards. Finally, they get it in deep. Malloy giving chases Worgen. Dumped up along the near boards, intercepted by Carter. Back down low. Centering attempt shot. Oh, what a stop! Sion takes a spill. Yannick Messer, maybe his best stop of the game thus far. Sion all alone. Take a look at the feed from Worgen. Messer comes out, down into the butterfly. Well, you can see Sion there, not happy. That's just a great save. You did the right thing, wasted no time. You know, just they're elite level players at every position. Swiss win the draw, but nobody there to pick it up. Corey Wilson goes back behind the net. Wilson with it, still wheeling and dealing. Wilson gonna make something happen. Centering attempt, nobody there. Picked up by the Swiss. Long wrist shot goes wide, and Schneider's going to get a glove on that with 6:16 remaining here. All knotted at 3 in the men's bronze medal game. Switzerland looking to make history, their first medal. United States looking to make history as the first men's team to medal in back-to-back world championships. Face off, sent back into the corner, picked up by Scialfo, trying to walk it back out in front, nobody there. Back to the point, over to Mueller, wrist shot on net, deflected wide. Wilson with it, back behind the net to Albright. Good poke check there. Swiss come away with it. All alone, shot off the pipe! Oh, Nicholas Worley brings the pipe on that shot. U.S. now trying to gain the zone. Hustling in. Corey Frederickson trying to crash the net. All alone, John, oh, what a stop! Chase, go! No, wait, the ref blows it dead! Levesque had buried the rebound, but the ref had blown the play dead, so the net had been dislodged. Oh, what a break for Switzerland. Take a look at the replay here. There's the initial save, and then Levesque, top shelf, but referee, you can see him coming in from the side and blowing the play dead. All right, so the U.S. will have to regroup. Ruiz on the draw here. One back cleanly by Ruiz, over to Melillo, poke checked away. Opportunity for Switzerland, Worley in all alone, save! Robbie Schneider bailing out the United States to keep this a 3-3 game. Boy, how about Furley rings the pipe on the previous shift, come back out here, poke checks it, comes in all alone, and Schneider stones him. Oh, high drama here at Alonso Arena. Schneider into a full split. Face-off picked up by the Swiss. Over to Rodriguez, shot from the point. Saved by Schneider, up into the mesh netting. Face-off will come back down low to his left. More and more fans pouring into Alonso Arena here. United States tries to advance it forward, kept in at the point, still kept in. Trying to wheel and deal through traffic there was number 66, Mario Paulik, unable to. Jordan Albright gains the zone, intercepted by the Swiss. They do not have the zone yet as the U.S. Well, is that going to be a flooring call? No, waved off. Dutney with it. Dutney carrying it over to Bergamasco. Bergamasco, nowhere to go. That has a poke checked away. And the ball goes up into the U.S. bench. 4:33 remaining here in the men's bronze medal game. All knotted at 3. What a game. Tuminello is going to line up and take the draw against Tim Mueller here. Face-off won by the Americans. Back Bergamasco rattles it around. Intercepted by the Swiss. Center attempt blocked by the Americans. It's Rodewald with it, still battling down low. Carter has it now, rattles it around. Intercepted by the Swiss again. Back to the point. Long shot, deflected wide. Rodewald with it now behind the net, trying to make something happen. Can't beat Carter though. Takes possession. Up to Persischetti. Circles back behind the U.S. net. Dumps it off to Carter. He'll go off for a change. Carter looking for an outlet feed. Fresh legs coming off for the U.S. Dumped in deep, but that's going to be a flooring call. .345 left here, all knotted at 3. Switzerland and America. We saw one to the boards by the Americans. Bergamasco with it, back behind the net to Andes. Andes looking to carry it forward. To the near boards to Drew Albright. Albright going to be able to gain the zone here. Drops it back off from Malloy. Back down low to Albright's got a man all alone in front. Shot! Save! Rebound! Save! Oh boy, Steve Science stymied twice on that. Rolls his head up to the sky. Well, defensive breakdown by the Swiss. I know it's the last game of the tournament, but right, got to clean that up. Take a look at the replay here, the initial save and then the rebound attempt. One save. Boy, that was close. Corey Wilson ready to take the draw. Got Corey Fredrickson, Brandon Jones with him. One to the corner, picked up by Wilson. Back behind the net. Giving chase is Fredrickson and Jones. Jones stops it. Fredrickson with it. Looking to do something with it here. Ends up getting kicked out of the zone by the Swiss. No flooring on the play. Chased all the way back. Switzerland ends up picking it up. Good hustle play by Yannick Eberle. Now the U.S. intercepts. Nicola Levesque. Over to Brandon Jones, now to Wilson. Wilson, drop to Jones. Wilson, shots out, Jones, score! What a shot by Brandon Jones. I thought he was going to give it back there to Wilson. Elected to take the shot. Picks the top corner. And just beats Yannick Messer clean. .241 remaining here in the third period. Take a look at the replay. Wilson, well, they've been playing together for years. I thought Jones was going to give it back to Wilson, but saw the corner and just picked it clean. Some discussion now here at center floor. I don't know what it's about. The captain going out to talk to the referee. Brandon Jones gives the U.S. the 4-3 lead, 2:41 remaining. Picked up by Carter. Long shot. So Jones gets the goal, assisted by Corey Wilson. Wilson and Jones, both with 2 points. Jones has 2 goals, Wilson 2 assists. .227 remaining here. Certainly keep an eye on Yannick Messer. See if head coach Kapanik decides to pull him. Face-off corralled by the Americans. Oregon with it. Both players lose their footing. Cyan has it along the boards, content to just kill some clock. Still moving it with his feet. Good smart hockey here by Cyan. Still battling on the boards. Hemmed in towards the point. Intercepted by Melillo. Rifled back into the zone. Morgan giving chase. Morgan battling along the boards. Switzerland now finally corrals it. Going to get some fresh legs here with 1 minute and 37 seconds remaining. U.S. on the verge of history here. Be the first men's team to repeat the medal route. The long storied history of USA ball hockey as Switzerland tries to keep the ball in the zone. Mishandled there, but then clearing attempt unsuccessful by the U.S. Rifled back in. I'm keeping an eye on Messer. He has not left the net yet. Approaching 1 minute. Messer waiting for the signal. Last minute of play in the period here. Long lob pass up to Corey Wilson. Wilson super smart with this ball. He knows the clock is on his side. He's gonna try and eat it up. Wilson got 2 Swiss players there down him now. Switzerland got to maintain possession. Got to get the goalie out of the net here. Levesque, long shot. Pad save. Levesque trying to get his own rebound. Switzerland's got to get 2 people on him here. They're running out of time. 33 seconds. What credit to the United States. Look at this body work along the boards. Levesque just knocking people around. Switzerland, 3 people, they can't get the ball away from the United States. 20 seconds left. Switzerland now, the netminder heads to the bench. They're running out of time, 10 seconds left. Long shot by Rodewald goes wide. Back behind the net. That's gonna do it. The United States will take home the bronze medal. They become the first men's team in the storied history of USA ball hockey to repeat in the medal round. They'll take home the bronze. Switzerland goes home in 4th place. What an outstanding effort there in the last minute of play on the part of several U.S. players. Wilson, Levesque, Sion just eating up clock left and right. That credit to the coaching staff. Corey Hirsch, Bill Sullivan, Tom Ruiz. I mean, if you're Switzerland, listen, I know you're disappointed, you know, but you finished 4th, right? You're the 2nd youngest roster in the tournament after Great Britain. Got nothing to hang your heads about, nothing. And as I've said several times during my play-by-play here with the Swiss team, if Coach Kapanik can keep this core together, they're going to be a tough out in a lot of upcoming world events, I'll tell you. They have speed. They're going to grow. They're going to mature. I mean, they took the Czech Republic to a shootout. They come back against Greece. I mean, they give the United States an unbelievable game here. They just never quit. Yeah, and for the U.S., yeah, it's not, you know, you're not in the gold medal game, right? It's not what you wanted, you know. Try to put together the best roster you could. You battled an injury bug. You know, you lost one of your better players early in the tournament. Cody Swift, you know, Brandon Jones ended up getting hurt. All right, he missed a game, didn't play for a lot of another game. And you ran up in the semifinals, you know, against the Czech Republic, who, well, they were just a better team that day. There was no shame in that loss. It's not like the United States handed it to them on the silver platter. And the same can be said for Switzerland, right, when they lost to Canada. You know, Canada's defending champs. Czech Republic, the defending silver medalists, they're about to meet in the gold medal game, and you can't win them all. As cliche as that sounds, right? You can't win them all. It's so hard to get here. And as I said in the men's B pool final game, you know, Italy and Lebanon. Listen, you know, Lebanon was disappointed that they're going home with silver, but believe me, there's a lot of people that would be happy to going home with some hardware instead of nothing. Be proud. It's an achievement, right? Nobody can ever take it away from you. Waiting for the ISBHF to finish setting up the medal table here, as Switzerland now will line up after giving themselves a walk around and shaking each other's hands, and coaching staff telling this young team to just keep their heads hung high. They gave it everything they had. You know, nobody who knows anything about ball hockey expected Switzerland to be in this in the bronze medal game, or any medal game for that matter. We knew they had a young team coming into the tournament. You know, several of us had spoken with Tibor Kapanik beforehand. You know, and just the thought process was, you know, do we have a good team? Yes, but however, there's a but with Switzerland, right? But we are young. We don't know what to expect from them. All we can ask is that they play hard, and that's what they did. you know, they deserve to be standing on this line. I understand, you know, if you're a Swiss fan, you're disappointed for them, but believe me, they're going to be contenders. This is a good team. I've talked with several people here who have said this is the best Swiss team they've ever seen. And the fact that they're young, and again, assuming these players stay healthy, you know, and life does not get in the way, right? You know, people end up having families, they go to college, you know, a job, they move to a different country, whatnot. If they can keep this core together, they're going to compete. They will be back if they can stay together. You can see tears on the face of a few of the Swiss players. I mean, I feel bad for them. I do. I mean, I'm an American. As happy as I am for America to make history and, you know, win back-to-back medals, I feel for the Swiss. I really do. I feel for any team, you know, that has to stand there and watch another team's national anthem be played. Again, it's so hard to get here. So much has to go right. You got to stay healthy. You got to get balances. You got to make your own balances.
President of the ISBHF. President of the Internationale Street-Ball-Federation. Und Stefan Kunz.
Well, I can see down on the floor right now, head coach Tibor Kapanik is just overcome with emotion. I think as any of us would be. You're inducted into the Hall of Fame and you're coaching a young team and you coach them all the way to the bronze medal game. They come at just a goal short. Shows the passion that you get. People like him, there's a reason he's a Hall of Famer.
Best player of Team Switzerland, the beste Spieler vom Team Schweiz, is player number 16, Aaron Eaton.
So Aaron Eaton, number 16 for Switzerland, gets best player. Absolutely deserving. He scored that big second goal. He's all over the floor today.
Best player of Team USA is player number, de beste Spieler vom Team USA, is de Spieler met de nummer, also 16, John Dutney.
Hey, congrats to John Dutney. Absolutely deserving. Had an assist on the first goal, and then scored that big second goal. And also assisted on the third goal, man. 3 points on the day. You know, congratulations to him. If you're a family, friend, fan of J.D. Dutney, tip your cap to him. He absolutely earned it. Guy showed up today and showed up big, as did Aaron Eaton for the Swiss.
We will now present the awards to the referees of this game. Wir werden nun die Schiedsrichter dieses Spiels aussteigen. Die Schiedsrichter dieses Spiels waren the referees of this game were Yevgeny Daniek and Guy Doucet.
As they give awards to the referees. And as I mentioned in the men's B pool final and in the women's gold medal game last night, again, congratulations to the U.S. women, first gold medal in that program's history. These referees are evaluated throughout the tournament by our two referee-in-chief, one from North America, one from Europe. And they are selected to work these medal games, right? So they are the best, effectively the best performers, right, throughout the week are selected with the honor of refereeing. And it just want, you know, they want to help ensure, you know, fair competition, right? So good for them. As they announce Switzerland in 4th place, they will receive their medals. And just as a fan of hockey, I will tell you, I'm just so proud of this Swiss team. I am. I just, you know, I may be from America. I may have an inherent bias towards the Americans. But I'm a fan of good hockey. I tell that to anybody. You know, they say, Chris, what do you want to see at these tournaments? I just want to see good hockey. That's all I want to see. You know, if America happens to win it, great. You know, I tip my cap to them. I'll give them all the love in the world. You know, but if Switzerland would have won this game, I'd be saying the same thing. I just want to see good hockey. As Switzerland walks the line with the United States players, so much respect between these two teams. You know, and for the U.S., all right, let's call it what it is. Them and Switzerland had the tougher draw, right? I think when the schedule came out, you know, the A pool is separated into two groups, right? So A1 and A2. Czech Republic, United States, Switzerland, and Finland all ended up making it out of the men's A2 pool. And for the United States to have to face two teams from the same pool, right, in the elimination rounds, you know, you just don't see that often, right? You just don't see it often. And if there's one thing I'm certain of for Switzerland, right, again, the young team, they're going to use this as a learning experience. You talk to anybody who's been around the sport of ball hockey for a long time, right? When you come this close and you come this far and you can smell it, you can taste it, what it's like to go home with some hardware, it's just a tough pill to swallow. But it's also one of the greatest motivators. It really is. Because when they start looking forward to 2026 in Ostrava, Czech Republic, I will bet my bottom dollar that these young gentlemen, when they get tired of running laps, they're going to run one more. You get tired of lifting all those weights, you're going to do one more rep. They're going to use this as motivation. You know, maybe they want to come home from the rink a few minutes early and say, you know, I'm going to stay an extra 10 minutes, get a little bit more work in. And that's the kind of things that motivate you to end up on the right side of the table, as they say. Because if you want to compete, right, you know, with the Canadas and the Czech Republics, you know, and the team that Slovakia built when they went on that epic run of 4 in a row. And, you know, with the United States, right? You know, like that 2015, the 2022 team. There was a lot of talent on that roster there, for a core that they had together for, you know, 4 straight tournaments. You know, losing when you come so close, it really does. It motivates you. So the captain of Team Switzerland will come accept the trophy. Congratulations again to Team Switzerland, 4th place. You know, there were 10 teams, all right, and with the relegation game, there were really 12 teams that had an opportunity to end up here, and you finished better than 8 of them. That is nothing to sneeze at. As ISBHF President Elio Pascuzzo congratulates them. And more chance of Hops Freeze breakout from the fans in attendance. Boy, I tell you, I just can't say enough good things about them. They just love their Swiss ball hockey team here. The sport's so popular in Switzerland, one of the founding members of the ISBHF. As I just watched Captain Yannick Muller walk the line and end up at head coach Tibor Kapanik, who is, yeah, you can see the disappointment on his face from up here. But even he received words of encouragement from his captain, right? I don't speak German, but I would imagine one of the things he said was to his coach, "We'll be back." As the U.S. receives their bronze medals now and walks the Swiss line. Always a great tradition here in ball hockey with the ISBHF as both teams congratulate each other after receiving their medals. As the U.S. coaching staff makes their way towards Tibor Kapanik, assistant captain Nick Carter offering congratulations, Bill Sullivan. Well, they will now play the United States National Anthem, and then they will present the third place trophy. Cheers from the U.S. contingent in attendance as ISBHF President Elio Pascuzzo prepares to hand the trophy to the captain, Johnny Ruiz. President Pascuzzo with the captain and head coach Corey Hirsch. And again, congratulations to America. First team in history, back-to-back medals. They certainly worked for it. Had to defeat a very tough Swiss team in their home rink. That is no small order. Congratulations, everybody involved in USA ball hockey. Hey, you had 2 teams come over here and 2 teams going home with hardware. Women take home the gold, men take home the bronze. First time in history, you have the women winning the gold medal. First time in history, you have a men's team repeating as a medalist. Fully expect the United States to be back on this stage in Ostrava in 2026. I know there'll be some roster turnover. You know, they do have some older players. This is head coach Corey Hirsch's 5th World Championship. He is also the GM of hockey operations for the United States. I do not believe that he has committed whether or not he'll return as head coach. Corey, like many people in the ball hockey community, has got a family. You know, and I'm sure if Corey were up here in the booth with me, he would be the first person to say, I got a family to think about, got a wife, a couple kids at home. They've let me do this for 10 years now. It's a big ask. This is a 1.5 year commitment from the time the first initial roster is selected for camp selection, putting together a coaching staff. It's just a lot of effort, a lot of sacrificing as the U.S. lines up for their pitcher here with the bronze. The 3rd place trophy as the Swiss fans are cheering the Swiss team. So we'll see what the United States does in, you know, the coming 1.5 years. Obviously, USA Ball Hockey President Chris Banks, Vice President Tom Ruiz, the rest of the board will have to make some difficult decisions in terms of how they want to assemble the roster and the coaching staff, as every nation will, right? I'm saying it's difficult for the United States. You know, every country faces it. I mean, Switzerland, right? They're a young team, right? They have to convince these players to try and stay together, you know, keep what we call the core, right? You know, keep your core together. Go back, review the digital media files, and take a look at where did we do well, where do we need to improve, how can we find additional players, what else do we need to do? As the U.S. and Swiss, I believe, are going to line up for a joint pitcher here. There's great sportsmanship in this tournament all around. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out for the United States and Switzerland. Well, that's it for me for this game. I will be back to call the big one. I would like to give a personal thank you to the Swiss company Ricola for all of the mints that they have provided to me to help keep my vocal cords lubricated. As the cameraman has given me a pat on the back, I'm going to give him and the rest of his crew a shout out here during the gold medal game. Folks, it's been a pleasure. I know this is a primarily American audience back home. I thank you for listening. I hope you stay tuned. Big one coming up. Rematch 2022. Defending champs Canada face off against the powerhouse Czech Republic team. We'll see you back here for the start of that one.